Oh my god.
I installed the new Turbos RS 65mm turbo in the silver Evo 10. Things did not go as expected. So tuning wise, everything's going great. You can see by this chart that I made 700 horsepower in third gear pull. The only problem is I'm only getting 32 pounds of boost, and I'm trying to get into the 40-pound boost area. Also, in fourth gear, I'm getting close to 34 pounds of boost. In third gear, I'm hitting 20 pounds by 5200. Fourth gear, I'm hitting 20 pounds by 4700. Not bad. I tried a couple things. I'm just maxing out the boost in the tables on the tune. Nothing's increasing it. So I decided to take off the lines to the wastegate. What this should do is give it all the boost. I wouldn't try this on a stock internal motor since mine's built. Should be able to handle it. I'm also running a turbo guard, running speed density. Taking off the wastegate lines did not help. It's still stuck at 32, 34 pounds of boost. I'm looking at this and I have a 3.5 inch RTEC downpipe. I have the RTEC stock location manifold. So at this point, someone recommended to me to take off the turbo guard, and I chose to do that. I agreed. I chose to do that. And that probably wasn't the best idea, but also I didn't take precautions. And the destruction. I decided to take off the turbo guard. Something got sucked into it, damaged the wheel. And it is what it is. You know, it's the price you pay. Try to go faster, make poor judgment. Here's a better look at it with the inlet off. And you can see the anti-surge has been destroyed. The wheel, the blades on the wheel are destroyed. Later I'll show you what got sucked in and destroyed this turbo. As you can see, it's spinning just fine, even with the damaged blades. Here you can see the exhaust side spins just fine, no damage. Better look at the damaged side. I'm just pointing to some of the material that got sucked into there, which is the wastegate line. When I had taken that off and the turbo guard off, it was just sitting in the engine bay, and due to the power of the suction, it just sucked it up into there, caused some damage. Anti-surge is broken, blades are broken, spins fine. Off to Turbos RS for repair. Here's how the car sits now. It's on the lift. Here's the back side here. That's an RTEC 3.5 inch downpipe. The O2 housing is massive. Has some GTR coils. Here's the RTEC manifold. It's a beautiful piece. It's discolored with heat, which is to be expected. It's cast stainless. And you will see I have a 4-port down there. Just my setup. If you have any questions about the setup, I'd be happy to answer that. Here's another look at the wastegate line. I'm running a Turbo Smart twin port. There's a turbo guard that I shouldn't have taken off. I don't know if anyone has experience with these, but I've had experience with them, and this is like the screen style. Never had any issues not achieving the boost I was going for. So that was the twin port, by the way. You have pressure going to the top and bottom of it. Helps it for certain things. That's the 4 port needed for the twin port. Well, I shouldn't say needed, but that's how I like to use a twin port. Even the external wastegate, you have a top and a bottom reference point. This is the Map Performance cast manifold. What I'm going to do is test this manifold with this turbo and see if I'm able to get more boost. I am not sure, I'm not convinced yet that is the manifold. I talked to one of the owners in Canada that makes the Artec. He said he designed it. I believe he designed it. It's an Australian company. It's an Australian and Canadian company. But it does feel like the runners are smaller than the Map Performance one. So here, I did a few measurements here, and you'll see what I come up with. Not saying that it did cause it not to be able to boost as much. Basically, the designers told me that the head would be my issue, not the manifold. The manifold flows more than the head. Taking measurements here, it's 43.7 and 32.5. This is on the Artec. Runner number 4. I think all the runners are the same. 45.1 millimeters to 33.8. Little difference. A little bit bigger on the Map Performance. As you'll see on pretty much all of these measurements, Map Performance is going to be bigger. This is the runner right at the flange. Huge difference. So 55 to 48. Now, the wall material could be a lot thinner on the Artec. I don't know. So it's not a real accurate measurement of anything, to be honest. So this is a little bit further down, 54. I believe the other one was 38. It's quite a big difference. Here I'm going to measure the flange to the turbo. And again, with the runners, it's going to be the same. Bigger on the Map Performance. 39.8 to 43.7. It's like a 10% difference, I think. 39.1, so 10% would be about 43, yeah. So that's about a 10% difference. And these are rough measurements. It's not super accurate, but it's close enough. So that wasn't as wide as far as percentage goes. And just everywhere. So it's 42.5. Yeah. It's just bigger. Less than 10%. Here you can really get a good look at the runners. It's interesting how like it kind of slims down from the flange in the runners. Now I'm using a open scroll turbo, so this flange is open scroll. This, you could see that the material on the flange to the gasket almost goes all the way to the edge. This one you can see a lot of material on the manifold side. So I'm not 100% convinced that this is the issue with my boost situation. I mean, I made 700 horsepower with the Artec, which is incredible because hardly anyone's running stock manifold at this kind of power, stock location turbo. But I'm trying to do it, so we'll see. I'm not sure why I was measuring it like this, but if you could zoom in there and see it, I can't see it right now. Anyhow, yeah, so that's where we're at. Gonna decide to put on the map performance manifold and see if I can get more boost. And if that's the case, then I know it is the manifold. Regardless, the RTEC performed great, looks great, quality piece. And again, I don't know yet. But stay tuned for another video coming soon.